Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be showing you a brief overview and review of Saloon Tycoon. So this is basically an economic game, is that what you would call it, where you're trying to basically build. Well, you already have your saloon. You're trying to make it the best saloon with the best reputation in town. That entices people to come to your saloon over your opponents. So we have the setup for a 2-player game. Each of you have your player boards with your saloon and the other areas where you could put the additional amenities and rooms and things that you want to offer with your saloon, which builds your reputation score. You have the reputation scoreboard that you will be scoring as you play the game. The winner is the person with the highest reputation at the end of the game. You have your income track. Basically, everyone starts out with one income, but that will be building. The way you build your income is for each tile you place on your saloon board is one additional income, and you will be stacking them in stacks of 3 or plus a roof. So they could go up to 4 tiles on each of these, which would equate for 4 income, because every tile you place, you increase your income. And if you ever think you forgot, all you have to do is just count the number of tiles on your board, make sure to count the layers, and make sure you're collecting enough income, because it is easy to forget to move that meeple down here when you add that. You're also trying to, some of them you're trying to collect, some of them you kind of want to avoid, but you may need them to complete claims. So you have your outlaws, which are red. They are all negative effects. The Sidney Smith, he's -5 reputation at the end of the game. The others are more of a burden to have throughout the game, like Moonshine Angie. Every time you want to play a card, you have to discard a card first. If you don't have a discard, you can't play a card. Flatfoot Fleming, she's a robber, so she's basically siphoning gold off of you every round. So when you collect your income at the beginning of the round, she takes 1, so you get -1. You don't modify your income track. You just take 1 less than whatever your track is at the moment, because the characters do move around a little, so you could get rid of her, or a player may take her because they need her to finish a claim. Phineas Pillbottom, he makes you pay 1 extra for a supply, which are these little brown cubes. Normally they're 2 gold coins. You have to pay 3 when you have him in your saloon. So those are good and bad. They're good in the sense that if you need to finish a claim card for reputation points, but they're bad on the things that they make you lose out on. Then you have your regular citizens. They're in blue. They don't really give you any benefits other than they're worth 5 reputation points at the end of the game. So you want to try to get the most of those you can. And they also help you to finish claim cards, which I'll go over in just a few minutes. So in the setup, you're going to have your citizens out there. You would normally have your tiles separated by type, but for the sake of this video and the space involved, and since we're not actually playing the game, we just have them in a couple of stacks. You're going to put your cowboy meeples on your number 1 on your income track. Normally these cowboy meeples would be off the scoreboard because you don't start out at 1. They'd be at 0 technically, and you would be placing them on there when you score. You're going to have your saloon. I'm green, so you could see there's the carpet on the saloon is green on that one. So that's how you know what color saloon, but honestly they're the same, so if you mess that up, it's not a big deal. That's your starting tile, and you will always have an income of 1. You never go below 1. And then you start with 3 tycoon cards at the beginning of the game, 3 gold, and you deal 4 secret claims, and then discard 2 and keep 2. And these are all, like this one is have Lucky Lucy Allen and Sydney Smith. You need to just have them in your saloon, and you would get 6 reputation points that you can score. As soon as you score them, you just put them face up by your board, just so you know you scored them. This one's Overachiever. It's an easy one. Complete 2 or more open claim cards, and you would get to score 6. As soon as you claim that, you get to score 6 on the reputation board. And what they're meaning by open claim cards, there's 4, well, 2, the number of players plus 2. So in a 2-player game, there's 4 open claims available. It's first come, first serve. Only one person gets the score on these. So you're going to want to pay attention to those and try to get those first before the other player. Have 2 pharmacy tiles and the whiskey steel. And so those are, I believe, the little ones.
Yeah.
So you want to have 2 pharmacies, and those will cost you 4 gold to obtain.
And what's the other one? Whiskey steels?
1 whiskey steel. That might be, actually, I think that one's a big one, a large room. So you would be placing these, when you purchase them, on these smaller spaces. And then the whiskey steel, do you not see it?
It's one
Oh, it's one of these you put over here. No?
Yeah. Oh, there.
I think it's a big one.
Oh.
There. So the whiskey steel is a large room, so it would cover 2 spaces, or if you have your saloon finished, and what that means is you see these little squares on the tile. Small tile has 3, a large tile has 4. So you're going to be purchasing or getting them off your Tycoon cards for free, but you can also purchase them each round. And a tile is considered finished when you have all the supply cubes on it. Once you have all the supply cubes, then you could start building on top of it. So the whiskey steel, it costs you 12 gold, but the prerequisite is you have to have a pharmacy. This claim card wants you to have 2 pharmacies and a whiskey steel. So you would need to have...
And it's 2 pharmacies completed because you're building it.
Right.
So
you would need to have 2 pharmacies finished, and you only need 1 pharmacy to put the whiskey steel down, but you could actually put that either here and pay the gold to use those spaces. That would be 2 gold and 3 gold, or for free, other than paying the 12, you could just stack it on top of your saloon. So it's the 2nd floor. Your whiskey steel is basically on the 2nd floor of your saloon.
the reason you might want to do this is because you get points for each one.
Yeah, you get reputation points when you place tiles on those, but it does cost you gold. So you would need to put 4 more supply cubes. You need to purchase those to finish that whiskey steel. So once you've done that, then you can claim this open claim and score 6 more points and just put that face up on your player board. And you would just do that with each of these. Some of them you need certain of the citizens. This one's have any 3 characters, also an easy one. Doesn't matter who you have. This one's have 2 guest room tiles, 1 kitchen, and 1 laundry. And there's a whole stack of these, so each game it can vary what the open claims are. There's various rooms. There's a theater room. That one, you can only put that above your saloon. So you would need to put that above your saloon to place it. The printing press, you can't have a laundry in your saloon at all. So you got to make sure you didn't build the laundry if you want to purchase that one. So there's prerequisites for some of them, not all of them. A lot of them are just standard, like the pharmacy. You just need to buy it and place it. So you're just going to be continually trying to finish these rooms. And then once you have a stack of 3, here, will you give me 2 more supply cubes? So say I built that I finished 3 floors. You immediately get to place a roof and that gives you 4 reputation points. And I also need to mention, when you finish a room, you also get to score reputation points immediately. And this is all on your player card. Yes. So for a large tile, you get 7 reputation points as soon as you finish it. So as soon as you put that last supply cube to fill it up, you would get 7 reputation points. For the small tiles, you get 5 reputation points. So you're going to be scoring. When you finish these tiles, you're not only going to be seeing if you completed a claim, you're going to be scoring on your reputation, you're going to be adding to your income for each tile. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my income would be 6 at that point if I've played and put all those on there.
And you just move the income as you build each one.
And you don't go down. Your income never goes down this way. The only thing that brings it down is
flat foot.
Flat foot Fleming. She reduces it by 1. And your tycoon cards are that you will be. I'll go over what you can do in your turn here in just a second. But that's basically a gist of what you do. It's a really fun game. We had a lot of fun with this game. So you're going to have 3 tycoon cards to start. And they basically give you gold supply cubes. They let you draw another card. This one is 6 gold. So most of them are gold and supply cubes.
There are some really take that.
Like move one character that's already been collected by a player. So it could be any player. It could be taking it from yours to getting one of those bad ones out. It could be taking one of theirs to put in yours because you need to complete a claim card. There's a lot of supply cube ones, which come in handy because that gets pricey buying those every turn. There's a lot of move character ones. There's draw 2 tycoon cards. And then you also get, when you finish a tile, they also have things in the corner that you get to collect. So this one, some of them you collect characters, some of them you collect stuff. So if you complete the jail, you will get Sheriff Reeves. It's right there. So you would get this guy. If you completed this one and put the 3 supply cubes over it right here, then you get to collect Sheriff Reeves, and he's in your saloon worth 5 reputation points at the end of the game if you're able to keep him in there. So all of these characters, the outlaws are obtained by when you do certain things. Flatfoot Fleming goes to the person who has 10 gold on their turn. Moonshine Angie goes to the person who's placed the first 5 tiles in their saloon. Phineas Pillbottom is the first player with 5 supply cubes in their saloon. And then Sydney Smith goes to the first person to stake a claim, either open or secret. So you get those when you complete certain objectives. Whereas all of these citizens in blue are obtained through certain tiles. They're rewards by finishing certain rooms in your saloon. The rest of the tiles, you get rewards, which it shows you on the back, but it also shows you in this bottom corner here. So this one is you get to discard 2 cards, and it has, get to draw 2 cards, sorry. There's play and draw. So your player aim covers all those. So that's draw 2 cards. This one, you get 2 supply cubes. That's the pantry. The kitchen, you get to play 2 tycoon cards. And then there's some that give you, has a little hammer. It lets you basically perform any action, any of the actions that I will go over in just a moment, any tycoon action. So there's certain actions that you're able to do during the action step. You're only able to do 1. So it allows you to do another one on your turn. So that comes in really handy. The cubes are obviously take a supply cube, and then anytime you see a star, that means you get to score the reputation points. Most are scored throughout the game except for the citizens. Those you score at the end of the game. But when you do the claims, when you finish tiles, when you place tiles, things like that, those are scored immediately on the reputation board.
The citizens, you score at the end because it goes back and forth so much.
Right, because they're always moving. So here's what you do in a turn. So at the very beginning of your turn, you're going to collect your income, which whatever number you're on your income track, that's the number of gold you collect, unless you have flat-foot Fleming, and you'll collect one less. Then you get to choose one of the 5 actions. You can either take 2 gold. The bigger ones are worth 5. The smaller ones are worth 1. You can either draw 2 tycoon cards to add to your hand. And I forget what's the hand limit? Was there a hand limit?
I think so.
I can't remember if there was or not, to be honest. Let's see.
You can also play
5. 5 is the hand limit.
You can also play Tycoon card.
Right, you can play one. You can build a tile, which that means you just purchase one of the tiles and place it in your saloon. If you place it on one of these where it has a negative gold, you have to pay that plus whatever the tile cost. But you also get to score immediate reputation points, so you're kind of just buying reputation points. Or you can bribe a character. That's another way to get a character over to your saloon. So say I had this Sheriff Reeves, he really needed it to complete something. He can pay 6 gold and take that and put that in his saloon. The only time you can't bribe a character is when the end game is triggered. You cannot bribe a character at that moment because that's when it's the game is basically over, and that's. I'm trying to remember what triggers the end of the game. I went blank. Oh, that's it, right. When the supply cubes, there's a limited number of supply cubes. So it's 25 per player. They are additional supply cubes. There's no limit to how many, like you're not limited to that many. Basically, when you only put out that many in the supply, and then when that runs out, if someone has to take from the additional reserve, that triggers into the game. That person gets to do all their actions as normal, but everyone else gets to take a turn after that, but they are limited in what they can do. I can acquire characters, but other players will not be able to move or acquire characters on their final turn. There's no bribing. There's no moving at all of characters. The characters are where they are. But the supply cubes are not limited. You can keep buying them from the additional reserve at that point, because they don't. That's just the in-game trigger. That's why they only put out 25 per player, so there is an end to the game. So you can do all that on your action step. Then there's 2 free actions you can take. And you can do these as often as you like, as long as you're able to. You can stake a claim, either open or secret. So I was wondering that. Remember I asked that, and we were thinking you could only do. So you can do it multiple times. Remember I was thinking you couldn't. So either open or secret, you can do as many of those as you can actually obtain during the free action. And you can buy the supply cubes. So those are $2 per cube to buy. You can buy as many as you want. Unless you have Phineas Hillbottom, they're $3 per cube if you have him. And then remember, every time you build a tile, you move your income up by 1. Every time you finish a tile with the last supply cube on it, you score your reputation score. I think I covered everything, right?
Yeah.
So we really enjoyed this game. Yeah. I like economic games, and this one, it had enough going on to keep you interested, but not too much going on to where you were lost. And they have really good player aids that are 2-sided that have the turn order and the iconography. But since we were only 2 players, we just had all the player aids and kept each side up, made it a lot easier. I would definitely give this game a 9. I think it's a great game. And aren't there a lot of expansions to this game?
Yeah, I think there's like 3, And I think they're little expansions. I don't know what they pretty much.
We haven't looked into the expansions, but I would definitely be interested in them because I really do enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun. I had fun. I was actually, and it did take like 45 minutes or more to play, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like that. Like I was actually kind of bummed it was over when I got the last supply cube. I was like, aw, because I was having a lot of fun, and we scored a lot. Like we were up here in the 80s by the end of the game, so we built quite a few tiles.
Well, you were in the 80s.
Oh, I was. You caught up pretty well, though.
Yeah, I was in the 70s.
Yeah, so it was. We had a blast playing this game. So what would you say about it?
I really like the mechanics of it. Very simplistic to actually learn, especially with the player aids. It sticks to the theme and does a very good job. I like how you could stack the tiles. And also the components are really good. The boards are nice and thick. The cards are really good. Good quality. And so the whole overall package is pretty much straight to the theme. And the mechanics also works as well with the theme. So overall, I'm giving it a 9. I really enjoyed this game. I'm surprised it's not more popular amongst other board gamers. It is more of a midweight game, I would say, because it is a little simplistic. And the movements are kind of a little bit luck-based as far as the Tycoon cards, but there is still a lot of strategy and replayability because of all the tiles. So really enjoyed it. Anything you want to say?
I think I pretty much said everything.
Yeah.
So hopefully this helped you to decide whether this is a game for you. We will put the link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. If you like economic games, I would check this one out because it's really fun. And like he said, the unique mechanic of being able to stack the tiles. It's just a really fun, unique game. Please give us a like. Feel free to leave a comment or question. We'll get to that as soon as we can. If you're not already, please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time.